Mace Windu's variant of Form 7 was known to be the ultimate counter to any darkseid wielder or being. It is said that for a while that it was allowed him to actually stalemate and even defeat Darth Sidious in their duel, one of the most impressive feats of any Jedi in all of the lore. While the legitimacy of Mace Windu's victory is disputed to this very day though, there is one factor that has remained hidden. Vaapad is not perfect. And in fact, there was a point during their battle when Sidious actually overwhelmed Mace Windu, and the seemingly undefeatable Vaapad actually met a deep limit. A limit that I want to explore today. Greetings, and welcome back to the archives. The duel of Mace Windu and Palpatine may just be one of the most complex and interesting battles despite the fact that it only lasted a few minutes. This was the Master of the Order versus the Dark Lord of the Sith. If anyone were suited to test their mettle against the proper Dark Lord of the Sith of the era, it would be Windu, the inventor of the form which dominated all darkseid-oriented enemies. But there is a section in the Revenge of the Sith novel which explains that Palpatine's darkness was so great that it literally broke Vaapad. So what exactly happened here? How was this even possible? Well, join us today as we review exactly how Vaapad works, and then see how Palpatine's own power managed to break it. Form 7 is one of the most unique and possibly the most dangerous lightsaber form of them all. Traditionally, it was known as Form 7 Juyo, the favored form of the Sith because its main attribute was infusing one's own emotions into their blade work, at least the very quick and dirty of it. Vaapad is Mace Windu's exclusive variant, a form which lived and died with him. As an aside, there has been some speculation that Luke Skywalker may have also used Vaapad at some point in his life, but we at the archives deem this impossible due to several factors. If you would like a holocron about this though, let us know. Anyway, the blade work of Vaapad is based off of a creature by the same name. The predator known as a Vaapad is native to the planet of Serapin. The Vaapad creature attacked by striking its prey with its tentacles so quickly, but they were nothing but a blur to the naked eye. There was no way to tell how many tentacles it had unless the creature was dead. But by studying the creature, Windu decided to develop the blade work for his own style and gave it the same name. When he's dueling, Windu appears as if he's wielding a multiplicity of lightsabers as he strikes from all angles with a deadly ferocity. But it's not merely the blade motions of Vaapad that make it so effective. It is how Mace Windu explained the true nature of the form in the Great Holocron. I developed Vaapad to answer my own weakness and channel my own inner darkness into a weapon of the light. To use Vaapad, a Jedi must give himself over to the thrill of battle, enjoying the fight and the satisfaction of winning. A Jedi must also accept and embrace the fury of their opponent. This transforms a Jedi into half of a superconducting loop, the other half being the power of darkness, which passes in and out of the Jedi without touching him. Vaapad is more than a fighting style. It is a state of mind, a path that leads through the penumbra of the dark side. Windu despised the dark side so much that he developed a pure answer to it. Just as a lightsaber deflects a blaster bolt, so too does Vaapad reflect the dark side onto its wielder. The stronger they are in the darkness, the stronger the form becomes. We believe that Vaapad only ever achieved its perfect state once though, and that was in the battle within the Chancellor's office. Palpatine was the apex predator of the dark side. There was no one beyond him at that point, and never before had Windu faced down someone on that level. Windu and Palpatine together forged the superconductive loop that was spoken of, with Palpatine exerting a tremendous storm of energy and Windu battering it back onto him. In the novel, Anakin walked in and was nearly blown back by all of the power that they were generating. At one point, Anakin sensed Windu was completely cutting loose. The Jedi Master ceased all exercise of Jedi restraint and allowed himself to sink deeply into Vaapad, so much so that he surrendered even his own individuality to it, becoming the very physical incarnation of Form 7. Windu took in all of Palpatine's ferocious speed, his rage, and his power, sending it to his inmost core, and then letting it fountain back out. And even with all of that, it is said that they reached a complete stalemate at the lightsaber. It states that Windu did not fear the dark side, which meant that it had no power over him, but neither did he have power over it. If he didn't do something soon, their battle would simply be lost. Finally, he had to rely on his second ability of Shatterpoint to locate a source of fear, to use it to strike a decisive blow against the Chancellor. At first, he thought the fury was sensing was Palpatine, but it was in actuality Anakin. And this is when this happens. Sidious may not have been able to overwhelm Windu with the lightsaber, but we all know that the lightsaber is not where he shines either. All of Sidious's power in the dark side is where his strength is. That is what makes him so incredibly dangerous. The blade is merely an afterthought to the Dark Lord. He makes it known by unleashing a storm of force energy and force lightning so intense that it nearly takes Windu off of his feet. Palpatine continues to use Vaapad, reflecting it back onto his enemy. However, the Sith Lord simply uses the pain to feed his power. This continues as they each try to convince Anakin. All the while, Mace Windu's blade is being bent backwards towards him. And this is what the novel says. "You're the chosen one, Anakin," Mace said, his voice going thin with strain. This was beyond Vaapad. Windu had no strength left to fight against his own blade. Eventually, Palpatine has to stop because his own Force lightning was becoming so strong that it was threatening to kill him if he kept up the stream. But Palpatine had not been in such close proximity to Mace Windu as to get struck by his own attack. Then he surely would have shattered Vaapad like a battering ram of dark side energy. Mace Windu openly admits that Palpatine's power was so great that it was beyond his current form, a feat which was, heretofore, thought to be impossible. So how exactly can this even happen? How did Palpatine manage to overload Vaapad, to the point where Mace Windu even says that he's about to be destroyed by his own blade? We believe the answer lies not in the strength of the form itself, but the strength of the user. The generally accepted understanding of the Force-based power scaling is that the Force itself is limitless, but one's ability to draw upon it is not limitless. In that same way, Vaapad perhaps could have had the power to continue battling against Palpatine had it been in the hands of someone more powerful. Keep in mind that the form itself is just a system of blade work and a mindset. Vaapad in and of itself has no real power. The strength of Form 7 comes from the user channeling it and mastering it. The simple truth was that Mace Windu was incredibly powerful, but maybe not on Palpatine's raw level. His form allowed him to go the distance with the Dark Lord, to stalemate Palpatine at the blade. But when he actually felt the strength of the Force that swelled within him, the kind of Force power that challenges Grandmaster Yoda, Windu stood no chance. In the duel in the Senate chamber, even Yoda at one point was cringing, buckling under the power of Sidious's Force lightning. We all know Sidious's strength in the dark side, but we want to characterize just how potent his Sith lightning was. Of all of the colors, it is known that red is the most dangerous. Red Force lightning cannot be achieved by training. It is something that one must be naturally born with. The raw power of this lightning is the most painful of all the colors, and it kills the quickest. It is said that the color was so painful that it has the potential to briefly cut off certain people from touching the Force. Palpatine's lightning was not born red, however, but he trained and refined his own techniques to achieve the same level. In The Truce of Bakura, a novel which takes place in the year following the Battle of Endor, it focused a lot on Luke Skywalker's recovery journey, because after taking in lethal doses of Sidious's lightning, he was left with several health conditions, not the least of which were spells of convulsing seizures. He was largely wheelchair bound, with this lasting nearly a year until all of the symptoms subsided. The point is, when Sidious unleashes his signature ability, he's using the purest and most potent manifestation of his own inner darkness, and that was enough to completely overwhelm Mace Windu's Vaapad. Never before had he had to train himself to face such a power. To be frank, Windu didn't even know Palpatine's level of power existed. The books make it clear that he believed Yoda was the apex of the Force potential, and he thought that a Sith Lord that even came close to his abilities was so terrifying that Windu put it out of the question. Windu believed that unquestionably Yoda was the most powerful, and that Dooku was the strongest Darksider that he had ever encountered. This was partially the reason why the Jedi Council doubted the existence of Sidious in the first place, as it felt impossible that anyone would eclipse Dooku as a Sith Master. In summary, Vaapad and Sidious were at an impasse, with Windu unable to fully overcome him until he drew upon someone else's fear to gain the advantage. And then we come to the Force ability. It would only be a matter of time before Windu lost. But of course, Mace was in close enough proximity to Sidious to reflect the powerful lightning back at him, to force him to stop before he died. And this was how Palpatine literally broke Vaapad, overcharging it. So tell us, my friends, what do you think of this? Did you originally think that it was a foolproof combat style of the Sith, one that counteracted them perfectly? We're super excited to share with you this topic, as analyzing lightsaber forms and duels is one of our favorite pastimes. If you have any more ideas or concepts for this type of video, be sure to let us know what you would like to see analyzed below. And until next time, my friends, may the Force be with you.